American flags are flying at half-staff tonight, an order from the president in recognition of the late Congressman John Dingell, who represented Michigan for an incredible 59 years. A respectful gesture from the president, considering especially how often the congressman was critical of him. But the president should also pay attention to Dingell's message. We all should. So, he retired in 2014, not out of fatigue, but out of frustration, saying he no longer recognized the institution he loved. He passed yesterday and was lucid until the end. In fact, he saw our present politics more clearly than most. He left us a letter to remind us where we need to be in this country. It is not left nor right, but reasonable and focused on progress and the process of compromise, disagreement with decency, a call to something bigger than what our electeds are about today. In the letter, which he dictated to his wife, current Congresswoman Debbie Dingell, on the day he died, he says in part, "In our modern political age, the presidential bully pulpit seems dedicated to sowing division and denigrating, often in the most irrelevant and infantile personal terms, the political opposition. My personal and political character was formed in a different era that was kinder, if not necessarily gentler. We observed modicums of respect even as we fought, often bitterly and savagely, over issues that were literally life and death to a degree that fortunately we see much less of today." And by being that way, he listed all the fights, as he said, bitter, savage fights that Congress took on and found solutions for. Medicare, civil rights, the Clean Air and Water Acts, and more. Big, big tasks. He reinforces this reality of Congress being so much more than the mucked-up works, the mockery it is now, by saying this: all of these challenges were addressed by Congress. Maybe not as fast as we wanted or as perfectly as we hoped. The work is certainly not finished, but we've made progress. And in every case, from the passage of Medicare through the passage of civil rights, we did it with the support of Democrats and Republicans who considered themselves first and foremost to be Americans. And that point, that we should be about country before party and people before party, is reinforced by another reality which he articulates so well. In my life and career, I've often heard it said that so-and-so has real power, as in, quote, the powerful Wile E. Coyote, chairman of the Capture the Roadrunner Committee. It's an expression that has always grated on me. In democratic government, elected officials do not have power. They hold power in trust for the people who elected them. If they misuse or abuse that public trust, it is quite properly revoked. The quicker, the better. Too many of you in office are playing a game you were never asked to play. Too many of you are there too long and for the wrong reasons. The culture of opposition in place of progress has engendered such disaffection that an outsider of questionable credentials and even more suspect character became president largely on the promise to disrupt the rest of you in your insider intrigue. Now, while it's hard to argue that this president is bringing purely positive change, the need for change is real. And Dingell, the dean of the House, knew this to be true until the day he left us. A message from a dying man that could breathe life into an ailing political process. Thank you, Dean. Our respects to Congresswoman Debbie Dingell and their family. May he rest in peace, and may his message live on.